I made a video late last week. Unfortunately, the footage got deleted or destroyed or something, and I was unable to post it, so I'm kind of redoing it here. Just a quick synopsis. About a month ago, I looked in the smaller of my new hives, the newer of the two, and I didn't have any new eggs or larvae in there. So I think the inspection before that, I probably accidentally rolled my queen or something else happened to her, and she was no longer producing. The bees had taken some of the eggs and larvae from previously, and they had created 4 or maybe 5 superseder cells, and they were trying to raise a new queen, so I let that go. Went back in there yesterday to check, or excuse me, I went back in there late last week to check, and those, let me back up again. I went a couple of weeks ago to check, and those had all emerged. So when I went back in yesterday, I was expecting to see some eggs from the new queen, but there were none in there. So apparently she did not get mated or did not make it back. So I took some open brood from the other hive and dropped it in there with them to give them another chance to make a queen. But in the interim time, I found a queen that I could buy. So I bought a new queen. See if you can see her in there. She's got a little pink dot on her. See her in there with a few worker bees. So I'm going out today to put her in. If the bees use that larva, that open brood to make some new superseder cells, I'm going to move them over to a small nuke hive and see if I can't raise another queen and maybe have a backup little small hive that I can use to take resources out of if necessary. I'd like to try to overwinter it, but we'll see how that goes. Pardon the smoke there. I'm trying to make sure my smoker stays lit. So that's where we are today. We're going out to open the hive, put the queen in, see what the status of the larvae that I added to them again, and hopefully they've created some new superseder cells, and we can go from there. But I'll take you along for the ride. Thanks for coming. Let me show you real quick the 2 hives before I start messing with them. This is the older and bigger one of the 2. You can see there's quite a few bees out on it. It's hot today, so they're out here bearding, trying to cool themselves and the hive off. And here's the smaller one of the 2. So obviously still got bees there. They're still doing their work, but not nearly as many as in the other one there. So again, give me a second to get things broken open and we'll go on. Alright, I've got the top cover off of the small hive. I'm gonna get the inner cover off here. There's a few bees up in there. I can look down I can see that they haven't done a lot to it. Break open a couple of these frames to show you. This is a honey super. So I think they've been spending their time down below worrying about the fact that they don't have a queen, nobody's laying. I mean, there are a lot of bees up here, but they haven't really done anything to build it out yet. You know. We're going to move this one aside and go on down below. Alright, that looks much better. Like I said, I did this, I think it's this black frame here I did put in, and it had brood on around it, so I'm hoping that they used that. We'll see when we get down in it. But worst case scenario is it added some bees to the hive, so they've got more workforce to work with. And I don't know if I'm going to put this on camera or not, because I don't know if I've got enough hands to do it, but I am going to dosed them today with some epibioxal RTU, which is a dribble oxalic acid that will help get rid of any mites that they may have in here. I'm going to set you down and we'll go on with the rest of the inspection. So lots of bees on there. I'm happy to see that, but that's just a new frame with no work having been done to it. I'm trying to get in the habit of using these little hooks. It's not the easiest thing to do, but using them, I think, or not using them may have been part of the cause of why I had queen problems. Alright, so frame number 2 is new on the inside. I scraped a little bit of wonky comb off that one last time. They've got good comb going, got some honey, got some nectar in there. So these girls are still busy gathering. That one's a heavy frame. That's all nectar and honey there. That side's a little wonky, but they've got honey on the side. So lots of nectar on that one, lots of nectar on that side, lots of honey. A little bit of pollen that they're making bee bread. They need that pollen to raise new brood, so I'm glad to see that. This was also a frame that I took out of the other hive. I gave them two. I gave them one that had open brood and one that had brood that was about to hatch. And it looks like both of those have hatched. That's the reason we have so many bees in here. So, not seeing a lot going on with that one. This right here, these are two little, that actually may be a drone cell. That was a queen cell, or it is a queen cell. It's not charged though, meaning that there's nothing in it, so they can't make a queen with that. Now that I'm thinking about it, I think I put the donor cells down below as opposed to up here. So I think these are just all cells that they already had. Lots of nectar in that one, lots of nectar on that side, a little bit of pollen and bee bread. That one's pretty much pure honey. Nectar and honey on that one. This side's still being built out, it's got nectar. And then this one's pretty much new on both sides, so we're going to put this one back together, do a quick dose on it, get rid of any mites, and move on to the bottom one. goers are getting a little buzzy. That tells me they still don't have a queen, which I pretty much knew already, but it is what it is. We're gonna fix that today. So this stuff, you just pour 5 milliliters directly on the bees. It's 5 milliliters per frame of bees. It doesn't hurt honey, it doesn't hurt the bees, but it takes care of the mites that may be in there. This is especially good when there's no capped brood, and again, there was no capped brood at all in this top box, so it's a perfect time to use this on these ladies. All right, we got that done. Oh, that box is quite heavy. You got a lot of nectar and honey in it. So again, a good number of bees in there. I'm good to see that. And although I said previously I'm going to go ahead and dose these while I have it set up this way. All right. Now let's get in here and see what we got going on. Oh, sorry, little bee. Kind of squished one there. They've been definitely propolizing this. There's a lot of bee glue in here. All right, you can see really good bee bread in that one. That side's pretty well built out, but empty. Frame 2. Again, lots of bee bread in the top there. A good number of empty cells getting ready. Lots of bee bread on that one. So they've got plenty of food when they start getting eggs and whatnot. When they start getting larvae, I guess, is really what they're feeding that to. So lots and lots of bee bread in that one. They've done a very good job of collecting that. I hope they haven't filled up too many cells. The queen has to have somewhere to lay when I put her in here. Alright, I think this was one of the two I pulled from the other hive. And it is hatched out. So I believe that was the one that had all the capped larvae on it. And it has very well hatched out. Naturally, my flashlight doesn't work. Thought I might have saw a couple of eggs in there, but I don't believe they are. I don't know how there would be unless the queen just started laying this week. I believe this is the one that had the larva on it. Yep, so they've capped all that, most of that off. There's still a little bit of open larva in the bottom there, or bottom as I'm showing it to you, it's on the side. A lot of larvae on that side, a number of capped cells, but I don't see anything that they've tried to create a new queen cell with. I'm going to check one more frame and then I'm going to get out of this one. Lots of capped brood on that one. Lots of capped brood on that side. So they've still got new bees coming in. Alright, we're going to close this one back up. Actually, I'm going to put the queen in it and then we're going to close it back up. So again, there's the new queen. That little plug there is candy. They call it candy. It's basically sugar. And the bees can use that to feed the queen that's in there. I'm taking a cork plug out of the end here. So the bees in the hive can work their way in through that candy and allow the queen to escape. And that little cork doesn't want to come out. Alright, I think I've got enough of it out of the way. I'm seeing the candy there now. So I'm going to set this in. The idea is that the bees that are in here have time to get used to the new queen's pheromone and accept her as their queen. As they're taking the time to get her out of there. And that's all we can do for that one right now. Again, hopefully they accept that queen and we're back in business at that point.